Right then, we're back for F1 Manager, and today we're here for the Japanese Grand Prix, and we have rain forecast for the race, which automatically means we might have a chance at hopefully getting points here today. First of all though, if you haven't seen the previous episode at Singapore, go check it out guys. It was a pretty interesting race, and probably our best realistic chance on paper to score points in what's left of this season, so go check it out. But yeah, let's get into the weekend's action. Leave a like if you're going to enjoy it, and let's see what's new this weekend. Now, besides the weather forecast, which is hopefully favourable for Sunday's race, we also have possibly our last upgrade of the season on the car this race, and it's a chassis upgrade. Now, this is Spec 3. It's a big improvement, a big, I'd say step forward, and also it's an upgrade that's going to carry on to next year's car. So this is not being affected by next year's regulations. So hopefully it's going to help us out. So let's get into it. Let's get practice on the way, and hopefully a decent weekend ahead. Now we're going to run through the guarantees and incentives. Now the incentives this weekend, like always, are going to be P15 in qualifying and P15 in the race with at least one car and achieve a fastest lap. As for the guarantees, I've guaranteed Q2 with one car. I've also guaranteed P15 or above with both cars in the race, and also I've got an active new qualifying streak of P15 or above, and hopefully we can achieve that with one car at least. So let's get into it and let's see what happens.
Konnichiwa from the Suzuka circuit in Japan. This unique track is a favourite home for motorsports, and it welcomes us back this weekend. Get ready for exhilaration and speed with the Japanese Grand Prix. Drivers will battle it out this weekend on the snaking turns of Suzuka, the only figure-of-8 track in Formula 1. High-speed downforce will be the name of the game here, if teams want to secure a place on that podium. It's been a virtuoso season for Red Bull, and they're about to find out if that's enough to grasp the trophy.
They're facing off against the formidable Ferrari, who won't go down without a fight.
Let the weekend begin!
Now both cars are ready to go. Sebastian though has an issue, and that's gearboxes. We've only got one gearbox left. We're starting to struggle now. We've got 22%, 23 and 19 on these ones, so they're all pretty second hand at this stage. Both drivers though, we're going to be running with worn gearboxes, but Seb's one's absolutely screwed and he's got no spares. Lance has a spare. So yeah, other than that, 20 laps fuel, we're going to test the setup out and get things underway. And also, as you can see, car part knowledge 83%, so we're going to try and get up to 100 as we have to kind of study the new chassis and see how it feels.
Lewis Hamilton involved in this one.
So Lewis Hamilton with a crash early doors.
They've lost control, and there's the crash.
Doesn't react.
Copy.
So bad news for Sebastian. Let's see what Lance has to say. Hopefully it's a bit of a better start with him compared to Sebastian.
It's not bad. I think it's okay.
Right, with Lance, I'm struggling to find what the solution might be. I'm going to try this and see how it goes. I'm really not sure where the adjustments are. I'm not too confident with traction, and I'm not too confident with oversteer, but we'll see how it goes. Now, interestingly with Sebastian, this was quite easy. I just cranked up the front wing angle a lot, just to kind of move the oversteer bar from here to here, and everything else is kind of falling into place. So we'll test this out. Both drivers are on hard tyres, and they're both going for 20 laps, essentially running for the rest of the session now, so let's see how it goes.
Car was good. All good here.
Copy.
Okay, so not exactly what I hoped for, to be fair. Clearly, the adjustments weren't the ones. The configuration period was really short, so Seb got out there really quickly. So we'll leave him running for the rest of the session anyway, because the more laps they do, the closer the margins get in terms of, where the setup window is. So we'll let him keep running anyway, because it's still a good thing. We'll get a few out of control in a few more laps time, as he's a few laps behind on 7 in terms of progress.
Yeah, good job with the car. Copy that.
That's not bad actually, 89%, so making pretty good progress for Lance, still struggling with Seb, but yeah, we'll keep them out there for the rest of the session. FP1 done, not a lot to really talk about, except that there's Verstappen, Leclerc, Norris, Zhou, Schumacher, all with grid penalties for the race, so it looks like we could be starting a bit further forward in this race if we qualify well enough. Now time for FP2, and we have some adjustments in place. First of all, you can see the car part knowledge is up to 88% on both drivers. Elsewhere, car part, we had a warning with Sebastian in FP1 right at the very end, and this gearbox is now done as we're on 19%. So we've swapped to the other one on 23. This should hopefully be the end of this gearbox, and then we're going to move to gearbox 4 for the rest of the weekend most likely. As for Lance, we have the same car parts, no issues on his side of things. Both cars are set up and ready to go. I'm confident we should get a bit closer now with Sebastian. We've got quite a fair few adjustments going on. Lance has a small tweak because I'm pretty happy where things are. And both drivers are going out on soft tyres for 15 laps, so let's get into it.
Car was great.
Copy, copy.
That's more like it. Sebastian happy with his car. So yeah, we're now kind of in the ballpark, which is a bit more encouraging. As for Lance, he's coming in, but I do not want that. We want to cut that short because we want to get the feedback. So let's not have Lance pit. This is the worst case scenario. I really don't know how this works. When you get optimal and everything else is great, you don't really have a guideline. So I'm going to experiment and see what happens, but we're not going to sort this out until FP3. So I've made a small tweak to the front wing angle and then compensated with some toe out. So we'll see if we can maybe get a few optimals, so I kind of know where to go. I need to just kind of know what way, in what direction to pull the sliders. So let's see if this does a trick. We'll send Seb out on mediums for 18 laps, basically for the rest of FP2. Not ideal. I think the new car part obviously is making things a bit harder to get the car fine-tuned, so we'll try and work on it. Okay, I've got a few guidelines in terms of the green bars to look at with Lance, so I know how to get a better confidence setup. But let's try this out and let's see what he has to say. I've made some tweaks. Both drivers out on the same run plan now. Not ideal, Seb with a spin.
Taking a look again, it involves Sebastian Vettel. Oh dear, oh dear. The car's just gone.
I don't mind that, to be fair. He was in a load of traffic, so hopefully he'll be in clean air once he gets back on track.
Well done. Car was great.
Copy.
Still struggling to find the sweet spot, man. Making progress, 92%, but still not quite enough. I feel like we might struggle to get 100, but I think if we're lucky, we can still get there in FP3. So FP2 finished, and penalties still there to be seen. Verstappen and Leclerc setting the pace. We finish in P18, P19. Okay, pace and mediums to be fair, but no real big data.
Thank you for joining us here today. Once practice is over, qualifying will be underway, and then the fight for pole begins. Ahead of the race tomorrow, the teams will be putting their practice data to use and making sure that their drivers have the very best chance of setting a lap time that will edge out the competition in qualifying. Drivers may know a track inside and out, but unless they have the setup to complement their ability, their efforts may be for nothing. Strap yourselves in. This is Formula One.
Now with Sebastian, I don't really know where I stand. I've gone back to the highest confidence setup. So before, you can see the empty bracket was on the left. I've now swapped to the right. So we'll see if we get a few more optimals, because that's what I want to try and find out. So hopefully these adjustments are the right ones. I feel a bit more confident about these, but I'm still not 100% certain. Both cars, soft tyres for 16 laps on this run. As for Seb though, I will say one thing. I've had to put on the new gearbox because we have less than 20% on all three of them now, so we may take a gearbox penalty with Sebastian at some point in the final few races. As for Lance, I'm pretty happy this might be close to optimal. I feel like traction is the one thing that's really out of whack, and good is there, so I'm going to go to the left and hope this does the trick. If not, I know it's going to be on the right, so we'll get it hopefully in 2 runs. But yeah, same run plan for Lance. It's going to be soft tyres, it's going to be 16 laps, and we'll have both drivers in conserve. Let's get to work.
What's your thoughts on coming in or doing any more?
Car was amazing.
Copy that.
Happy days, finally, we've done it. Well, that's a bit of a relief. Hopefully we get some positive news with Lance as well.
How's the balance?
Yeah, good job with the car.
Copy.
Okay, not too bad, 96%, that's not terrible. Okay, I think this could be it. I've made a few tweaks and we've managed to get the same adjustment on the 2 greats, keeping the optimals the same. So let's see, same run plan. With Sebastian, I'm actually going to keep him in the garage. I want to try and save that gearbox a little bit, so we have what we need: 100% track acclimatization, 100% setup confidence, and 15 out of 15 performance bonus, so we don't need to send him back out, so Seb's done for now. So for Lance, it's going to be 96 this weekend. We're not going to max out. That's a bit of a shame, but that's the way it goes. Now, practice done. Results aren't really important. We're right at the bottom, of course, with the lack of pace. Importantly, though, we have pretty decent scores all round. Now, with Lance, the setup confidence, we will get 15 out of 15 once we revert back to his old setup, which he has maximum confidence with at 96%. So yeah, both drivers will have max score, which is what we want, and we're looking pretty solid. So first of all, both cars have their new car parts or their freshest car parts available fitted. Along with that, soft tyres. They're going to go for 3 flying laps, and as you can see, Seb has 100% confidence with his setup. As for Lance, we're going to revert back to his highest confidence setup of 96%. So there we go. Both cars ready. Let's get into qualifying and let's see what happens. Well then, first car's out on track. Let's see how these first laps go. Seb's going to encounter Albon throughout the entirety of the S's, but still go purple in both sectors, and goes 2.5 tenths quicker than Stroll on his first lap. Lap number 2, they're going to encounter Albon through the S's again. This time it's Sebastian who has to tackle Magnussen and also Albon up to the hairpin. So this second lap may not be an improvement for Sebastian. Stroll though is going faster. And does he improve? Not a lot. Right then, final laps then for Seb and Lance on this run. Seb on a personal best middle. Lance does not improve. Seb also only improves by a fraction. So the first lap was pretty much their best lap. Right then, both drivers going out. We're going to be at the back of the queue. I think we should be okay for time. We'll have about 30 seconds in our pocket. Okay, let's get into it then. It's time for the final runs. Let's see if Lance Stroll can pull off a miracle and hopefully get out of Q1. I think I'm pretty confident Seb's going to get through because the margin of a 10.5 over Albon's pretty big. But Lance only has to find a 10th and he can get himself in. So let's see how this all pans out. Through the S's then, Sector 1 of course. We've got Seb just behind Lance. So we're going to get the best possible track conditions. It's a personal best from each in the first sector. Mick Schumacher improves up to P13. So the Haas cars stretching their muscles a little bit and showing their pace. Magnussen, I think, will also move up the order as well. So to be fair, we could be looking at a double knockout, looking at this pace gap between Ocon and Sebastian, to be fair. So we might actually lose both cars at this rate. Let's see. Sector 2 is going to be important. Let's at least make sure we're on a personal best, which both drivers are. And let's find out. Both drivers out right now. Easily out, like not even close. Sebastian needs to find about 4 tenths, nearly half a second. I don't think that's going to happen, Chief, so I think we're done. Stroll's actually finished as well his lap. He finds 2 tenths. Sebastian finds 2 tenths, but nowhere near. Nowhere near. So there we go, confirmation. It's a double Q1 knockout, and this track potentially showing up our flaws, which isn't great. So, this could be a rough race. I'm not expecting points based off this. Yeah, this could be a steep race for us. Obviously, we'll move up because of some penalties, but this could be a bit of a tricky one for us, I'm not going to lie. Now then, the good news. Even though we're off pace in the dry, we have rain, and we have lots of it. So, as you can see, from, I'd say about this point in the race, about a third of the way in, a quarter of the way in, we have a solid, I'd say, half a race contested under wet conditions. So, this could be interesting. It's going to go, you know, wet, very wet, dry off, get wet again, and then dry. So it's going to be about strategy and making sure we are on the right tire at the right time. So let's go figure out some strategy and then get ready for the rain. I don't know why Lance's setup has reverted back to 92. I could have sworn I locked in the 96, but anyway, that aside, I don't know why Lance has a 92% setup when I locked in the 96, but maybe it reset, I don't know. Either way, both drivers on a soft tyre to start because the rain is going to arrive well within the soft stint. So we're also going to, because of that, put both drivers on maximum push, and we're going to try and make up as many places as we can at the start and then try and hold on basically until the rain arrives, and then we may have a chance.
It's sunny and bright as the drivers line up on the grid. And there's Sebastian Vettel. Slower than most yesterday, so today they'll be starting from the bottom half of the grid. There's Lance Stroll, down the grid. With their starting position in the back 10, they'll have their work cut out for them. Everything's been building to this. The drivers are warmed up, they're ready to go here at the Japanese Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Right, this is it. Race start underway. As you can see, both drivers getting to work. I think everyone's on softs. Yeah, everybody's on softs. Bottom 10 are on fresh softs, the top 10 are on used softs, so we'll have an advantage. So important that we try and get to P10 or P11 if we can. Sebastian getting stuck in here, looking to get past Magnussen into the S section. Let's go 2 times speed as we watch it from Lance. He's also scrapping with Albon here. Does Seb get by? Yes, he does. Just about. Come on, Seb, get the move done, son. Meanwhile, Stroll still going with Albon here, side by side into the hairpin. It's 3 wide.
Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
What a double move that was. Anyway, Seb gets past. I was hoping that replay before would have helped us out, but as you can see, Seb there clearing the home favourite, Yuki Tsunoda. So this is good. Great start from us. Good aggression, getting stuck in straight away. And yeah, happy days. So, Seb on the cusp of the top 10. If we look at the tyre wear, we've got Russell and Ocon on fresh softs. I'm now going to put both drivers into baseline modes. Stroll gets past Tsunoda, so we can also move him into straight standard mode once we get within a second of Sebastian, which is important.
Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
Into turn 1. Lovely. Then the inside through turn 2. Right, we can now move Stroll back down to standard modes. And hopefully, we can just all chill in the DRS train. That's all we'd like at this point in the race. What we don't want is Seb to drop back. So let's correct that really quickly here, as Stroll looking pretty fast early on here.
DRS will be active. Drop back a bit.
This is fine then. We're just sitting in the pack. We are very slow. We get dropped easily, but we catch up into the hairpin and also into the final chicane. Basically, the 2 big heavy brake zones. We're able to close the gap. So I'm leaving them on aggressive and fuel push at the moment because it's important that we definitely maintain DRS. We cannot afford to lose it. Worth noting now, Verstappen is on his way back through, so he'll be getting by relatively quickly, I think. It won't take him long. You can see Seb here struggling to keep up with Ocon visually. We need Seb to try and get within DRS range, man, which is really, really important. You can see Verstappen in the background just going for the move. Let's see, with the bit of deployment, we might be able to fight back and stay within DRS possibly. There goes Max though. Can't stop him. Easy move. Okay, we're going to turn things down now a little bit and play the long game. We're we will be P12 and P13, which is not terrible. So it's about managing the race and getting ready for the rain at this stage. So if we look, as you can see here, we're still quite a way away yet. So we've got to make the tyres last. Very important that we do. Here comes Max. He's looking to get by, and Tsunoda also trying to get by into 130R. They both make moves by the looks of it. Max goes through. Tsunoda though doesn't quite get it done. Stroll stays ahead for now though. It's side by side. Down to turn 1. Who's going to blink? It's going to be Tsunoda who gets in front. Meanwhile, Seb gets back in front of Verstappen, to be fair. So I'm actually surprised, to be fair, to say we're in standard modes. We're not dropping back as much as I thought. And we're battling as well. I think if Max were to pass us, we could just latch onto some DRS and he might be able to drag us back towards the top 10. Speaking of which, Max again, looking for the move. Around the outside, and this time does get ahead, but I think Seb will have the DRS. And again, he's going to get back past. Love it. And we have a virtual safety car. Oh my god. Whoa.
Now let's look at this. Here's George Russell.
Right, this will explain it. So Gasly goes off. Russell gets collected.
That's the contact there. Oh, there's chaos on the track.
Wow. I'm surprised Russell's still going, but surely he must have damage to his wing. Yeah, he does. He's missing a bit of front wing. Okay, so just a virtual safety car for now. Pierre damage. They're both going to pit. That will move us into the points. It's not worth pitting because we're going long for the rain, so we may as well wait. Right then, so Russell should pit. Let's see. Yes, he does. And Pierre also. That's going to move Seb and Lance further up. VSC ending now, as you can see. Lovely stuff. So Seb P9, Lance P12, and all of a sudden now points are looking possible.
DRS is enabled.
Especially with rain on the horizon, of course.
Now here we see Max Verstappen.
As you can see, this time Verstappen's the one that gets the DRS, although it's not open. You can visibly see the straight line speed difference. I was going to say Magnussen, you can see him just behind there. He's caught up to Stroll. So, yeah. At the minute, we're just running in this little pack of cars, which is fine. We're still hanging on to P10, which is all that matters.
Now let's look at this. The focus on Tsunoda.
Easy DRS pass for the Japanese driver as he gets ahead of Sebastian Vettel. No surprises there.
The rain's still coming, Lance.
Okay, okay.
Alright then, so rain is arriving. Lance has just lost DRS on Sebastian, which isn't good. But anyway, we're getting close to the rain now. As you can see, 35% in 2 minutes time. So this is it. If we look at the forecast, it's about to start. So the rain dance is going to begin. So we're going to go ahead and make both drivers push a bit on fuel and tyres as we're arriving to the crucial point of the race. So let's just give it everything now and use the tyres. You can see the skies are getting dark now as Sebastian gets past Noda once again. Magnussen also battling with Stroll right now and has got ahead for now. But again, we're just doing our thing. As long as we're in the mix, that's okay. We are drifting away from the top 9. They're a different league to us, but at least for a point we could be on today. Rain is going to pick up.
We are expecting rain pretty soon.
Copy.
And this is it. The rain's falling as Seb battles with Tsunoda.
Let's see what happened there. Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll.
Meanwhile, Stroll gets back past Magnussen just before the rain started to come down. So a nice DRS pass there from Lance. But this is it now. The rain is starting. And both of our boys... Oh my god. And there's a mistake from Lance. Literally, as I click on him, he makes an error. So let's turn our focus to Seb.
We've just had a car run wide.
Yep, we saw that. Right, we're going to pit this lap. The rain's picking up. It's going to be 1%, like 1 millimeter already this lap. So we're going to pit this lap. Intermediates for both. And we're going to pit this lap for Sebastian. And same for Lance. We'll stack them. We shouldn't lose any time. They've got enough of a gap, especially with that mistake. So let's box both drivers. The good news here, some of the leaders might stay out a bit longer. Let's see. The leaders are going to be okay. Sainz is the first car in, and I think he's going to get the benefit of still having time to make his mind up. And there we go, he pits for Inter. So everyone's going to pit. So this is it. We've got to the rain dance, and we're in the battle for points. That's all we wanted. After qualifying, P17, P18, this is good for us. So just take it easy, boys. Try and stay on the island. The rain is coming down pretty damn quick. Although it has now stabilised at 1.48, which is okay. Tsunoda stays out, which is very interesting. Meanwhile, both of our boys are in, but I do not understand why Tsunoda has stayed out. Anyway, so Seb back out on his way. Lance as well. 2.6, by the way. Great stops for both cars. And we're back out there. As we're going to get stuck in. Let's see. What modes should we go for? Let's just go standard early on. We need to drive like crazy. We'll pick up the pace if we need to. So Sebastian's overtaken George Russell. Russell's on the inters. So Seb's got passed for net position, by the way. Which is fantastic. I want to note, Mick Schumacher's on the wets. And so is Kevin Magnussen. And it's not working out for them. So that's good news for Stroll. Seb as well. We've got more cars in. So Perez, Leclerc, Ocon, Tsunoda all in. So we're going to get a bunch of places here. As things shake out. You can see in the top right. 90% rain. We've got the big showers starting right now. You can see it picking up. It's starting to get really wet now. So let's see how this works out. We're P10 and P11 respectively. And this is looking pretty healthy for us right now. But the rain is picking up. If it gets to over 4, we're looking at full wets. Okay, we're getting there. It's about to go to 4. And there it is. It's officially wet. But I'm not going to stop. You can see track conditions change to wet. We're going to stay out. The rain is still picking up because if you look, it's only one icon and then it kind of, well, it's one icon now right here coming up and then it goes back down to like standard rain. So I want to see if we can try and drive through it and take a risk. We'll see. Some cars are in for full wets. I think it might be worth just staying out. Let's see if the gamble pays off. The main thing here is other cars. Sainz has stayed out. Hamilton has come in and he has fitted, I think, the full wets. If I look at his car. Yeah, full wets for Hamilton. Verstappen's in as well. Is it going to be full wets for Max as well? Yes, it is. So some cars are in for wets. Others are staying out on the inters. So interesting. Let's see how this works out. We're going to stay out, though, on the inters and try to go long. The rain's already starting to come down now. Right, so we'll keep an eye on this. This is a good reference, okay? So we've got Verstappen behind Sebastian, and he's a lot quicker. I'm probably going to pass him. But the track is, you can see, drying every moment here. So I'll be keen to see the crossover. I don't think anyone else is pitting. I think everyone's going to commit to the inters now at this stage. So we'll see. Although Perez does pit, to be fair. A wet tyre now? That's a bit of a risk, surely. No, it goes to the wets. Okay. We'll take it. That might give us an extra place. So
Red Bull
Fair enough. So Verstappen goes by. There's Perez just up the road. So both Red Bulls on the wets. Let's judge this pace and see what happens. We're now under 4, so we're now in intermediate territory. So we'll see what the pace is like. I think we might see the Red Bulls pit this lap for intermediates. Albon does pit, which is a sign. And yeah, Verstappen pit. So that's going to move us into P9 and then eventually P8 once Perez pits. And that moves Verstappen further down the order. And Stroll now into the points as well. So we're looking at P8, P9 once Perez pits. So we're going to be chilling. Everything's going to be fine. But we have another big rain shower on the way here. This could be full wets, to be fair. This is 2 icons. This could be interesting. We've got to get through this entire intermediate phase, though. Might have to take a fresh set of inters. We'll see how it goes, but this is going to be the deciding part of the race, this. There is Perez in the pit lane, though, you can see. So that's now both our boys P8, P9, which is fantastic. Okay, the Red Bulls are catching back up now. They're making up ground. As Verstappen and Perez fight back, they're catching up to Lance. Seb, though, has a healthy margin, to be fair. And actually, Hamilton pits. Interesting. Let's quickly see what tyre he's looking at here. Fresh set of inters. Okay, fair enough. What's everyone's tyre wear? I mean, it's about the same. We're all about the same. I mean, we're not going to pit. That, you know, is obvious. That's going to be our golden ticket, not pitting. That's going to help us move up the order. But yeah, you see Stroll here. Has Verstappen coming through. And gets by straight away. So right now Verstappen a 10th behind Sebastian. And Hamilton and Perez right behind Stroll. Both of our boys are holding up faster cars. The rain did go down to 1.3. But now it's just starting to pour it back down. So this could change the dynamic of the race yet again. Red Bulls and Hamilton have the upper hand on tyre wear, of course.
We're just watching the Red Bull.
So into turn 1 down the inside. Easy move there. Just like with Lance Stroll. No surprises. Stroll, though, is still holding on and keeping Hamilton and Perez at bay. Also, Alonso and Leclerc pit. Let's have a look to see what tyres they're going for, just to see. I mean, we're over 4 again, so the rain is falling. So this could be full wets, to be fair. And it is. What is the forecast saying? Okay, we're entering heavy rain. It's got even worse. It's now 3 icons of heavy rain. So, actually, it might be worth pitting. It's enough rain that it's worth taking the wet tyre. So, I always say, right tyre at the right time. And it's the right time for the full wet. So, we'll bring them in. Hopefully, we haven't done it late enough. And Seb can pit.
Box.
Yes, he can. Lovely. And Stroll just got overtaken by Hamilton there, but he's now going to pit. Hamilton stays out for one more. So, that might be Stroll getting Hamilton back. Seb onto the wets. And back underway. And now Stroll will follow. 2.6. Excellent pit stop so far from the mechanics. And there we go. Lovely stuff. Sainz in the pit lane, by the way, so he's almost a lap ahead of us. But that's it. We're onto the wets now. So let's see how this all shakes out. You see Seb trying to get past traffic here. Important that he tries to get by. We will push him a little bit to waste no time with these guys on intermediates. The rain is falling, so important that we try to get by it. Come on, Seb. Gotta get by, mate. Gotta get by. Gotta get by. Gotta go. Come on. Right, there we go. Lovely. Esteban Ocon leaving the pit exit. So he was the car that was more or less ahead of Sebastian. Hamilton still out there on inters, so is Perez. The rain is dropping a little bit, but we've got more inbound, so I think this is the right tyre for now. I will set both guys to push at this stage because we're not going to be this tyre for long, and I'm also going to let them burn some fuel, as I think it could be an important phase of the race. Now we're back in intermediate territory, but we have downpours in 3 minutes. So what we will do is we will just cool the tyres off
Copy.
and go again in a minute once the rain starts to pick up again. Slight delay on the rain. And yeah, the rain has stopped. Interesting. But it says 3 minutes and it's still going to happen. Although we're down to 1 icon now. So the forecast is changing. But I'm confident we're still going to get a downpour. This doesn't look great. This rain needs to be intense. And it's not happening. The rain is not coming down. We never got the rain. We never got the rain. Oh, we're in trouble. Well, we may as well try and hang on to these and go for the dries at this stage. As we're under 3 now. So we may as well... It's not worth going for inters. We've just got to try and get to the dry tyre. But that's a shame. Had we stayed on the Inter, could have been a bit further up. I mean, Stroll definitely could have been P11, but not a lot more to gain for Seb, to be fair. The track's not drying fast enough. We're going to have to take a couple laps of pain here. And we're going to drop out the points. There goes Zhou. And Lando's going to follow. Oh, this is really bad strategy now. It's a bit unfortunate. I can't believe we got swindled. You know, the strategy went from 2 heavy rain icons to 3, and then down to 2, then down to 1, then down to none. So yeah, we just got to try and hang on here. I'd like the track to dry a bit quicker if possible. So Gasly up the inside into the hairpin. Stroll struggling, of course, on those tyres. I think I might have to just go for it here. We've just dipped under 2. I think it might just be time to go for the medium. I'm going to go for it. I think a medium is going to be a faster tyre than the wet at this stage. It's just about taking less pain. So, right, we'll box with Seb. You can see we're now 10 seconds behind Norris and Zhou, so we just have to go for it. We've been caught in this really, really awkward situation. So we just have to just try and deal with it the best we can. So medium's on to the end. I could go soft to be fair, but we're going to push these tyres hard. So I'd rather just go on these. Another good set of stops, 2.5 actually for Lance, which is excellent. So then let's first of all sort Sebastian out. We'll go straight to push. No, we're going super slow. I'm watching the Delta, the Sonoda. We're just bleeding time. Bleeding time. This was an even worse decision. I should have stayed in the wet. The track's drying really slowly. Oh, we've fumbled this race so bad. It was looking so good for a double points finish at one point. Oh, God. Look at that. 28 seconds to Sonoda. Something's happening here. Something's happened here. Everyone's going slow. I think lap traffic. Sainz has lost the race lead. He's still in the full wets. So Sainz has lost this race. Ferrari have done a Bonotto special. Ricciardo is your race leader, and he's going to box. So everybody now is going to pit for dryers. Sainz has lost a 40-second lead by staying out in the wets. There has been some time lost. Seb's now just 8 seconds behind Sonoda, so he's managed to get that gap back, as you can see. So Ocon's out there on wets. This isn't over yet, actually. Just when I thought our strategy was absolutely shocking, the AI are fumbling it just as bad. So I don't even know where we are now. This is insane. But Seb's back up to P12, and he's going to be gaining on everybody ahead on the rate of knots on the dry tyres. Stroll's P13 ahead of Gasly, Albon, Sonoda, so he's back in the mix as well. So this race is just flipping on its head. Just like that. So quick. Right, let's see what happens at the end of this lap. So Zhou is in, Norris is in. Of course, we were ahead of them two with Seb. Instead, we're going to be still a long way behind them. But Alonso and Ocon are now pitting, and they're going to lose time. So we're looking at P10. If my mathematics are correct, there's Lando back on the track. There's Alonso and Ocon now making his way in. So Seb and Alonso, just behind, unfortunately. I was hoping to be a bit closer than that. So P11, not quite. As for Stroll, it's going to be close with Ocon, but he just gets ahead. So P11, P12, but I think that's it now in terms of the twists and turns. Although Leclerc hasn't pit yet. Surely Leclerc's going to pit. Yes, he does, but he's going to lose now to everybody. So we might just, I say nick a point, but we've still got a lot of laps to go. Leclerc's going to fight back like crazy on the soft tyre. Even then, I don't think we're going to get ahead. No, we're not. There's Leclerc behind Alonso, but ahead of Seb, just. That's a shame, but that's it for the race. We're now going to start going backwards as we've pushed a lot on these tyres. So Sebastian just gets lapped there by Verstappen, so we're now a lap down. Sebastian's made a mistake.
Let's have a look. Taking
I
a look
think
again,
it's only minor.
Sebastian Vettel, and they've gone wide, very wide.
Small error, not really a big deal. Anyway, on to the last lap now pretty much, and we're bringing it home. Right then, Verstappen wins, and we're going to finish in P11, a lap down. I'm gutted because my gut feeling was right. If I just stayed on the Inter and seen through the entire interface, I would have gone for it.
Over the finish line, and today's winner.
So that is checkered flag, but you can keep pushing.
Sorry, guys.
Tough day. Take all the pickup you can,
And there we have it, a real shame because had we stayed on the Inter, I think we could have finished P7 today. Easily, P7. because we was ahead of these two quite comfortably up until the wet tyre, thing. Because we wouldn't have stopped, so we were in a pit stop ahead of them as well. So P7 was achievable with Sebastian today. And as for Lance, if I consider also the same strategy, I would say P10 was possible for Lance, I think, realistically. Yeah, I think P10 for Lance would have been possible. So, yeah, we could have had double points finish, but I know it was Seb definitely P7, but we went for the wets. We got baited into it when I saw the 3 icons go from 2 to 3. That was kind of what sold me on it, and I went for it, and it backfired. Anyway, standings-wise, Ricciardo gained a bunch of points today because he finished, I believe, in the top 5, or top 4 even, actually. Let me double-check. He finished P3, so that's terrible for us. Ricciardo up to 12th. He, makes a big jump forward. Stroll down up 16th. There's a bunch of drivers score points. And in the Constructors, McLaren have overtaken us. Oh my god, I didn't even clock. I didn't even realise I was so focused on our own race. Oh dear, we might have just lost 7th in the Constructors because I don't see how we're going to score 4 points unless we have another wet race. Oh dear. Anyway, we'll try and deal with that down the line. I don't want to think about it, otherwise I'm going to have a nosebleed. Both our boys getting decent development, and Seb gets the development point as well to spend. Elsewhere, we lose a bit of cash, but no big deal. 4 million back in the pot. Research has finished on next season suspension, which is good. So that's 3 out of the 4 things we need to research for next season's car. So we've got 1 left, which is, I believe, the rear wing. Once we have that, next season's car is ready to go. So then, Sebastian Vettel, development point to spend. We'll go ahead and we're going to drop it on, I've got a choice here, braking or adaptability on racecraft. We will go for, we'll go braking, why not? Let's go braking. We'll try and get the braking up to 80 and then go to cornering a bit, because cornering needs to improve. Lance doesn't have a point. Drugovich doesn't have a point in this race. What about our staff? Do we have any points for staff that we can spend? Nope, looks like nothing. So there we go. Right, email time. So debrief, as you can see. Cornering performance of Lance could be improved, so we'll note that down when we get a development point for Lance Stroll in the future. High-speed cornering is a weakness. The board are happy with us, and their confidence is growing, which is good. We have the review and the confirmation of the new suspension. As you can see, it's a massive step forward. Absolutely huge in every single department. So this is going to really help us out. Now, we don't really have much to do until the next race. The only thing I can't decide is the driver lineup. I want to give Stroll the benefit, and also just because Drugovich isn't ready. That's the main thing. So I'm debating giving him a contract. I might just test the waters here with a 1-year renewal and see how he feels about it. I know it's not ideal, but if I sweeten the deal, it might work. So we'll give him a 1-year deal, and I'll bump things up a little bit and see what he has to say. Let's see, just to test the waters with this. We were going to have a few stabs at this, but I want to know where the kind of issues might be. He's not happy with the 1-year deal. He's happy with everything else, though. I'm going to try one more time and basically fix the rich boys' issues with more money and see if it does a trick. If not, I might give him a 2-year deal, and then we'll just have to accept breaking the contract at the end of the season. But no, there we go, he accepts it. So the money does the job. So like I said, the rich boy is happy with a bit more cash, so happy days. Let's go for this. I don't mind this. And worst case, we can drop into reserve if he underperforms. That's the advantage we have now. So there we go. We've locked in the drivers. I want to try and give Drugovich some FP1s next season especially. But there we go. I feel like they need to patch this because this isn't right. So his contract has been renewed, but it says 0 seasons, which isn't right, and 2 months left. That can't be right. I mean, it does have the red warning here. I don't understand. I gave him a 1-year deal. I don't get this. Anyway, we move on to the next one. We'll have an update soon. Worst ways, if I have somehow messed up or the game's glitched out. I noticed this with the contract when I was negotiating Seb. So I gave him a 4-year deal and Drugovich a 4-year deal, yet it went to 3 when the confirmation came through. So I don't know, worst ways. We will figure out a backup plan if we have to, but I want to see if it sorts itself out. Either way, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. Leave a like and subscribe. That was a pretty chaotic race. Shame we didn't get the points in the end. It was up and down, topsy-turvy, but job done for us. And yeah, we go to the next one in Kota, which I really don't know what to expect. I feel like it's not going to suit our car, but then again, Sector 3 could work quite well for us. So we'll see what happens. As always, a massive shout out to the members for supporting the channel. Finally, check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.